Aloha, aloha, beautiful, divine sister. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you here and now to that miraculous life. I am so excited to share what I have in store for you. It's going to be jam-packed with rich information that not only will be reaching your beautiful brain and mental processing center. I really am inviting you all to settle in and allow the information that I'm going to be sharing with you and the processes and the invitation to just reach this still point in your heart. I want to start off by prefacing that I don't ask that you take my word for anything that I share. I really invite people to try on what I'm offering for your own self. You are a sovereign being, and as such, you get to decide what you keep in your field and what you don't. And at the same time, I feel pretty certain that if you're here today, that you are at least open to the possibility that there might be something here for you, maybe just even confirming your own inner wisdom. And I meant to be that facilitation point of light in the women's world that are frequenting in my space and that I collaborate with and that I coach and provide a lot of resources to, many of which are free. I'll go back a little bit more into what some of those things are as we progress. I just wanted to share my heart with you. And before we get started, I'm going to bring up my presentation. So just a moment, sisters. Okay. So again, welcome to that miraculous life. This is going to be a hybrid offering, an experiential offering that's part masterclass, part connection for you to be able to feel into my heart and my energy and what I am here to transmit and share with you today. And then also part purification. Really right now, we can all benefit from clearing the path and allowing more and more of our own sovereign-centered truth and presence to be our guiding force and what pulls us and compels us forward. The age of relying on outside information is no longer really going to serve us. The indoctrination and the programming and the trauma collectively or individually that we've received can be mined and milked to bring us back into this full presence and this powerful place of being. And I'm going to definitely be speaking more to that during our time together. So let's dive in. Yay, happy to be here with you. So this is just a little bit of housekeeping. Please have your miraculous object. I have two to choose from. So if you don't already own a magic wand or haven't made a magic wand, because it doesn't have to be something you purchase, you can actually go find an amazing stick out in nature and create your own magic wand. But if you don't have one and you want to live a more miraculous life, it's nice to have accoutrement and fun things that can bless our powerful intent and what we're creating in the world. And it's just kind of a fun thing to play with and really bring intention to. It's not like you need the miraculous object in order to have a miraculous life. It's just a fun way to dance in this realm of co-creation. So have your miraculous object. It could be sage, it could be anything. It's Creatrix choice. Go ahead and choose what that is for you if you haven't already. And then a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be big, just blank on either side. And we're going to use this later for a purification process. And then some pens. Colored pens are fun. These are my favorite Tombow markers. They're acid-free, archival, water-based inks. You can find them at any art store. Go to your local art store and support local businesses if that's accessible to you. I highly encourage that, and I love to support local businesses, and maybe you do too. And an open heart. Oh, sorry, a small dish and an open heart. Feeling into that open heart. I'm feeling excited and jazzed right now. Plus, I had some yummy chocolate coffee, organic chocolate coffee with mushrooms earlier. So I'm feeling jazzed right now. Also, invitation here to close all extraneous windows, turn off your notifications, put your phone on airplane mode, please, if you're willing to, so that you can really truly give yourself the gift of your own full presence. This time is sacred time that you're taking for yourself. It's not for me, it's actually for you. And the content that I have to share with you today can truly revolutionize your entire experience if you apply it and if you're willing to receive the remembrance, really truly, of your full sovereign choice to be a creatrix. That's why I call the women in my community creatrixes, because we are, with a capital C, coming from and refining and honing our own creative power. And that's what's needed right now, or being welcome and invited to come to more of the forefront, I do believe, at this time on our planet. So sister, you are in the perfect place if you are open and curious. If you welcome beneficial quantum leaps in your life, world, and business, if you have one, you value taking total personal responsibility. I value that, and I welcome being lovingly reflected when I'm not in that place, and inspired to choose again to take total personal responsibility for my own perceptions, my own experience, and how I perceive what's going on, whether it's inwardly or outwardly. Another way of knowing if this is the perfect place for you is you love life and you love yourself. And even if you don't always feel so in tune with yourself and with life, because by no means am I always there myself, that you return to that remembrance, that you are invested in your full embodied expression as love. Really just allow that in. What if the one purpose for your entire life was to be a full embodiment of love? And that's not possible if we're not starting within, right? So if you're open to that, you're in the right place. Another way of knowing if you're in the perfect place, personal sovereignty and freedom is important to you. So these are some of my top values. I know that we know, unless you've been kind of hanging out under a rock or in a cave, or maybe even if you have been, you're still intuiting and feeling into this shift and opportunity on our planet to return to our own sovereign self as the one thing we can really rely on and trust. And that's my wish for myself and everyone that I come in contact with, that we just remember that no one outside of us has power over us, that ultimately we have the say of what we get to do, how we get to be. And this is a theme right now, right on our planet, where people are waking up to this idea that we are sovereign and powerful beings. So if that's important to you, you're in the right place. And finally, you are totally in the perfect place right now with me if you're willing to examine your perceptions with love. Yes to that. So who am I? My name is Dewi Maile Lim. I'm so pleased to connect with you if I haven't been in your physical presence or virtual presence in real time yet. I can't wait to connect further with you. My business is called New Earth Luminary, and it really is the mission of New Earth Luminary is to midwife in the new earth consciousness and reality on all levels into the here and now through the field of our own hearts first, and then from there radiating out this awakening and our individual unique expressions and roles as luminary leaders. Because if you are feeling the call and inspired by this idea of birthing the new earth, you are a trailblazer and a forerunner of this consciousness that's coming in. And it doesn't matter, I want to say this, how much work you've done in the spiritual realm before. It doesn't matter if you grew up in a religious background. It doesn't matter if you're of a certain culture. This shift in consciousness is happening regardless of our backgrounds, our family of origin history, regardless of however many lineages behind of kind of enslavement. That, you know, enslavement can happen in a lot of ways. And really, I believe that this age that we're moving and shifting from could be called the age of separation. So in whatever ways you may have experienced separation and limitation in your past, it doesn't matter how far along in your journey you have been in this quest for sovereignty and freedom, you can choose now to reside in this still point of your heart. And really the playing field is being leveled out with our consciousness. And so those of us who are really heralding this change and shift, which I believe is everyone who's showing up for this call, we get to be the bridge builders, the light bearers for those who are still kind of waking up or deciding, you know what, like I can't not do this. I can't go back to sleep. We get to hold our hands out, like I'm doing here with you now, hold our hands out and take each other by the hand and by the arm and do this and usher this in together. You're not alone in your visions and dreams for a more expansive, vibrant, affluent, lush, luxurious, sensual, and bountiful way of living. Heaven on earth already exists within the still point of our hearts. So really my mission is to help bring and usher that in, and especially to work with New Earth luminary women who are wanting to do the same. So that's the basis of my business. So I call myself, or express myself, as a spiritual business coach, a visionary artist, and a personal sovereignty advocate. And just so you kind of can feel into some of my experience, if that kind of thing interests you to know about, to see how far I've come in this human life. I've invested over $200,000 in the past 20 years into spiritual development, self-help, personal development, and business development trainings, seminars, courses, you name it. I've been to quite a few of them, and have master's degrees in spiritual psychology. And I was getting my master's degree in divinity at one point. I've been really committed to channeling my resources, life force energy, and co-creating experiences for myself that have led me to now, from a more embodied place just in the last few years, be able to actualize the vision that I've had since I was a little girl to be this heralder of change. I've known since I was little that I was meant to be in a leadership role, and I would put myself in leadership type roles as much as I could to, I guess, prime myself for where I am now. I didn't know it back then. I was just always compelled to interface in leadership roles. And so fast forward to today, I've worked with celebrities, leaders, entrepreneurial CEOs, creative artists from all walks of life. And I've worked in people's businesses, coaching them. I've also worked as a coach for people in their businesses. And then I've also been coached and invested lots of money into being coached by some of the top conscious entrepreneurial luminaries out there. And this has been going on. I've been in the online space for about 12 years. And I even founded a digital marketing agency back in 2012 for conscious entrepreneurs. So this is my language. I love entrepreneurship as a way and a vehicle for us to come into our full expression and for full potential. So even if you don't have like a legit business now, whatever that means, legit, because I believe like business doesn't have to be done in the traditional brick and mortar sense, following the rules. And by the way, the rules don't need to apply to us anymore. I'm giving us permission here just to, for yourself to examine how the quote rules and the current laws and just what's the old way, the crumbling and dissolving old way, the systems and structures of bureaucratic red tape and really regulations and rules, many of which are anti-life to me. Are those really serving you here and now? And how can you start to free yourself from exiting those systems if that feels right to you, and co-creating and investing in new ones? So that's what I'm here for. Okay, I'm going to ask your permission for a moment. May I please candidly share from the heart? And I know this is being pre-recorded, so if you're a yes to all of these, then please proceed in the video. If you don't feel comfortable with any of this, then you can just turn the webinar off now, the replay off, and go about your day. I wish you well. So if you're okay with it, I'm going to be sharing candidly from my heart, and I already have started. So if you resonate with this way of being and my frequency and energy, then you're welcome to continue dancing with me. Is it okay by you that I get a little shamanic? I'll do during the purification process, just calling in the beneficial energies and healed energies of source, creator. It's all, I work with the Christed light and the Christed consciousness. So it's only of the highest vibration and frequency of the energies that I work with. So if you're okay with me being in that space and place with you, then please hang tight and let's continue on. And then I may swear here or there. This is unscripted other than my slides. So I'm just using them to kind of inspire and move me along and make sure I deliver everything that I promised to you when you signed up for this webinar or when you clicked on the button to watch it. So I just would like to let you know that that's kind of sometimes the way I express myself. And it's always with a beautiful intent, and I get really excited. So, if you're okay with swearing, then let's proceed. Okay, let's get some context here. Why live a miraculous life now? Why this now moment? And why birth the new earth now? Why commit yourself energetically, financially? Your life force energy is a resource, right? Why invest your life force energy into co-creating mass awakening on the planet? Why would that be important right now? This time has been prophesized by so many different cultures, traditions, wisdom keepers, temple arts, traditions and lineages and paths. This time has been prophesied even in the Bible. This time has been prophesied for generations now. And the age of separation is now dissolving. It's come to a close. And it's really been this illusory experience of separation, because even through this entire time where it's been a lot of us versus them energy, and haves and have-nots, and really power, dominance, and control. I like to think of these as these matrices, like you've heard of the movie The Matrix, right? There's these power and control matrices that have been kind of overlaid on our, quote, reality as humanity for some time now. But it hasn't always been that way. There have been times where, according to some channeled texts, right now I'm thinking of the Sophia Code in particular by Kaya Ra, where children were groomed from a very young age to connect in with their shamanic gifts. And when I say shamanic gifts, it's really just the power we have within us to relate more from like this superhuman level, to be able to see things without having to physically see them, to be able to hear things without physically hearing them, to be able to intuit and know things without being told. These are what I like to call shamanic gifts that we all are innately able to tap into. And really, it's about reclaiming our godhood, reclaiming our birthright as God selves, that we are all one part of this unfolding, one singular miracle. And that this time, which has been prophesized and what Kaya Ra calls the golden age of miracles, it's in the stars, it's in the planetary alignment. And those who would like to keep the power and control matrices going, they follow astrological themes, and they actually know that this awakening is happening. So the grasp for power and dominance and a lot of this fear-based programming and mind control viruses that are being literally perpetuated through our mainstream media, through reliance on experts outside of ourselves, like doctors, not dissing doctors. My father was a practicing cardiologist for 40 years, so I know firsthand about what doctors go through. And the thing about that is, though, this time is really about looking to ourselves as the experts of what's best for us. And right now, as I'm recording this, this is a full moon partial lunar eclipse that's happening tonight. And as I record this, it's the 19th of November. And if you reflect back to 19 years ago in 2002, you can see some of these patterns from that time surfacing again. And so right now, this now moment is actually key for choosing where you want to place your focus, what you want to invest in, because everywhere you place your attention is an investment, right? So thank you so much for investing your time here with me. I value that and I honor that and I respect that and I bow to you. So now is the time. Now is the time. We have so much beneficial support and energy lining up with us catapulting and quantum leaping into this golden age of miracles. This is what's up. And you're either going to get on the bandwagon and create your own as a trailblazing new earth luminary leader, or you can just kind of allow yourself to be carried by the wave of someone else leading. That's totally cool too. You know, you don't need to be the one that's sharing the same message as me. There might be more subtle ways that you are birthing and embodying this energy available to us. Everyone's message and experience and path looks different. And I just want you to know that whatever you have brewing as a vision and a dream inside of you, you can even amplify that to the next level. We're going to talk more about that. Now is the time. First, though, let's cover some of the pitfalls that can deter or delay the miraculous. It's good to shine the light on things so that we're just aware and not like sweeping things under the rug. I'm all for being fully lucid about ways and habitual tendencies that we have kept ourselves stuck or in this pattern of repeating kind of self-defeat. So let's talk about that with love. So one of the major pitfalls that can delay or deter the miraculous is spinning out on what's not working or what's wrong out there. Now, here's something to consider. There is this idea and perception of duality, right versus wrong, good versus evil, light versus dark. You know, all of the major epic stories, you know, if you've watched movies or read novels, Star Wars is a great example. There's this good versus evil, right? Battle going on. And if we take that storyline out there back on into ourselves, because I believe everything is a projection and reflection of what we think and believe we know. And we examine that and say, how can I see how I've been at battle within my own self? Then we're taking total personal responsibility for our perceived response, right? And we're doing the inner work as we identify how we've been either judging or making something wrong out there. And we can kind of reflect back in like, okay, how am I reflecting what I'm perceiving as wrong within my own self? And that's really such an empowering way of being. It's like everything out there, if you spot it, you got it, and you can flip it on its head and you can say, how is this benefiting me? How is this really serving me? And how is it serving me to keep judging it as wrong? Okay, just reclaim our power. Another pitfall is being stuck on victim island without a boat. So we all know people in our worlds who are really continually kind of rehashing a story. And in that storyline, they are not the protagonist. So a protagonist can be, it doesn't have to be the quote good guy. Just the protagonist is someone who is really, I see the protagonist as someone who is triumphing through their journey, that they're always focused on how is this going to bring me into more of my truth and more of my power. So the person stuck on victim island doesn't have a boat and they don't see beyond the horizon, and that's okay. You know, we've all been there, and there's no judgment, but you can see very clearly how choosing, because it is a choice to stay in this place continuously, and that's a lot of energy, like locked up into one limited reality, right? And that can feel safe, you know, no judgment. Again, it can feel safe to be in the familiar, even if it's not what we prefer. Sometimes the quote fear of the unknown can feel way more scary and bring up so much more feelings of uncertainty in us than, you know, what we think and believe we know about a story or what happened. And so cycling in that story feels familiar for many people. And even if you've done that in the past, just know that grace is available to you, and you can choose again and again and again. And we're going to do that purification process later on that's going to liberate some of our energy and move through any of the stuckness or density around this energetic. And all of these pitfalls can be completely cleared in an instant. Another pitfall that can delay or deter the miraculous. I'm going to sit down for this one. I have a chair right here. My doggy's here too. Hey, Leeks. Sit down, baby girl. So another pitfall is doubting your dream and or stunting your vision. It might not have been safe when you were little to dream big. You may have been feeling so excited and delighted about this expansive imaginary world that you were privy to, but your mom or dad or older brother or sister, aunts, uncles, teachers, preachers, anyone who was bigger than you, who you perceived as having more power than you, may have squashed your fanciful imagination. And so that is registered in the body, or can be registered in the body as trauma. As trauma doesn't have to be necessarily a very grandiose, like tragic or intense thing. It can be a moment where your fanciful dream that you had for yourself, or your vision where you were able to see imaginary friends or talk with spirit or whatever it was squashed because that person who made you wrong for sharing your exuberance and joy, they made you wrong. That's how you perceived it. You decided to turn off and turn down some of that natural expression in yourself. So it's okay that you chose to do that if that was the case. And I invite you to see all of those people that may have been those points of decision where they did something or said something and you decided to dim your light, that you could see them as angels along your path. They were messengers on your path that were showing you something that you needed to experience in order to now, here now, rebirth and remember the full magnificence of your power. And they just didn't feel safe. They didn't know how to relate with you in your magnificent, boisterous, amazing way of being when you were little, and even maybe as a teenager. People that haven't healed their own inner trauma from when they were little, they're going to most likely get their pain out in other ways. So if you could just have compassion for those times where you doubted your dream or you stunted your vision, then, all of that residual density can just clear. And again, the purification process is going to serve you in that. So this is, last thing I'll say about this one is that this is key to identify how you've done this in the past in order to liberate yourself into living that miraculous life that is totally available and accessible to you here and now. It's important to acknowledge that there have been ways that you've dimmed what's possible for yourself. And maybe you felt it was like too grandiose, or how the hell am I going to do that? Or who am I to do that? Or whatever the kind of mental thought process that goes along with this like choice, because you did choose to do it yourself, to dim your dreams or stunt your vision. We can just lovingly accept and acknowledge that that is what we did. And also choose from this moment forward to free ourselves from that past pattern. Shining the light now on it, taking a moment just to acknowledge without judgment, just having compassion for ourselves and those that may have communicated their own trauma to us and through us, and that doesn't need to affect us anymore. We can be free now. So along these lines, another pitfall, I think this is the last one. Let me double check my notes here. Yeah, this is the final pitfall. Playing life, quote, safe when your soul really wants you to fly free. Once we can get some space from our experience, whether it's in this lifetime or past embodiments, you know, some of us have remembrances of former lives and former experiences. And sometimes we can get in the fascination of what that story is, and, you know, the nuances and details of who you were in another life and all that. And really, unless that you're really kind of mining that for the ultimate lesson and value of that experience, and just kind of, or if you're alternatively just using it as a way to like be fascinated and kind of distract yourself, you're still not in this present moment here and now. And by being in the present moment here and now, there's no need to protect ourselves or keep ourselves from some external perceived threat. And that's what we do when we play it, quote, safe. And really, like, who's to decide what is safe or not anyway? However, if we don't actually feel safe in our own selves, first and foremost, and make that a priority moment to moment, to just really tune into our own needs and like self-soothe and remother and re-mentor ourselves back into the wholeness that we already are, then we're just going to keep small or keep ourselves in this place where we're not valuing our own significance, where we're not going for the full birthright of expanding into all of what's possible for ourselves as powerful creatrixes, as the one who claims the fullness of our full expression, that allows ourselves to fly free and express ourselves from this place of freedom and a censorship-free experience, and where it's safe to do that. And we need to be the ones that create that safety for ourselves. And our soul wants that for us. Our soul is here to guide us and provide the beautiful, limitless container. And there really is no space and time anyway, right? So you get to decide here and now, like, I choose to allow my soul to fly free in this lifetime, in this body, here and now. None of the other lifetimes or dimensions or anything else matter. I can like sync up my energy now in this moment, here and now, and I can live fully expressed, fully supported and supplied, and receive all of the abundance, the wealth, the limitless freedom, sensuality, and pleasure that comes from me expressing in my own unique way my soul's essence. That is what I'm here for. Okay, so we're going to get now into 3 keys to align with the life, business, and world your soul came here for. And I think you might have come here for this too, because this is part of what I promised through this event. Key number 1, develop inherent trust in yourself / source. Yourself and source in this expanded place of the miraculous is one and the same. In that golden age of the past, or the golden ages of the past, children were trained to become ascended masters in their own embodied way. They were trained to tap into their own creative power. That way of being where a child could be fully expressed and really guided by master level mentors in their lives was started at such an early age. This way of being where children are groomed and nurtured and loved so fully and seen for their full power from basically from birth is what I envision for us happening in our lifetime. That's part of my why I want to birth this new golden age, the golden age of miracles, because I see a world where children are just nurtured, and I feel it. I see it. I see temple art spaces around the planet where we're remembering our power and where we're training this into the children. It just is already happening, I know, in pockets around the world. And my vision is to unite these temples as a grid of light temple spaces around the world. We're all perpetuating our gifts, and where each of us, as adults or in more mature bodies, have done the inner work, have done the healing required to show up for a child as a reflection point of their own brilliance. And in order to do this, in order to dream the quote impossible dream, to fulfill the full extent of our vision, it requires inherent trust in ourselves. Feel into that place in your heart where you did come through for yourself, where you did show up big time, where you followed through, where you accomplished something that you had your sights set on, and know that you were divinely guided and supported the whole time. Like, how can you really mine your entire life's path for those times where you were there and you showed up for yourself? I really want you to think about that. And also where from that physical 3D perspective, in the kind of real world density matrix that many of us have danced through and experienced struggle and suffering through, that even in the darkest of times, or the times where you felt most disconnected, that you were actually being held, you were guided, and you were protected all along. You're still here. You made it through. Congratulations. And Source, God, Creatrix, Gaia, you know, whatever you call the power that is this miraculous source of infinite supply, abundance, and grace and innocence, was with you all along. And that is you. You can tap into that at any moment. And that's required for a life of miracles. Another key is to allow for an expansive and flexible vision. So every time we receive a moment of clarity or spark or inspiration or an idea, it is because we have the capacity to see it through. If we choose, we're not necessarily needing to follow the through line on every single vision or idea or dream we have. It's those ones that keep recurring though. It's that kind of theme that has a through line in your life. For me, it's been leadership. For me, it's been entrepreneurship. For me, it's been connecting with other women. Before, when I was little, I had pen pals. I would write letters. This was pre-social media. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. And I had girls that I would communicate with from all over the world, including in Hawaii, where I grew up. I had pen pals in Australia, some that were like Pakistani. I had all kinds of girls that I connected with. Even at a young age, I knew that I wanted to be tapped in with the feminine and with other peers of mine. And I wanted to connect and share stories and have fun and do creative things. We used to decorate our envelopes of our letters and stuff them full with what's called slams, which were like kind of like diaries where you would answer questions, and then when they were full, you would send them back to the person they were created for, and then you would look through them and see, oh, I like her handwriting, I like her answer, and you could write to that person because everybody put their address labels inside. So just like social media today, you see a post and a woman that you've never connected with, you're really digging what she has to say and you're feeling the resonance, and then you reach out to her. I've always taken the initiative to reach out to other women, girls that I resonated with, and I didn't let anything stop me or be an excuse for that. Fast forward to today, I've made quite a bit of money and had a career teaching other people how to use social media and our messaging and the words we say online and how we show up in our own physical personal brand, even with like the messaging around our business and telling our stories. I've made money doing that myself and teaching others how to do that themselves. And that's part of my work, really using the tools we have available and accessible to us, many of them which are free, to find our tribe. And if I had just kind of kept myself in the limited vision of like, okay, I'm going to be writing letters all my life, and never really even dreaming that the social media world would be possible, I wouldn't have connected with as many girls. I would, like, if I would have kind of shunned the whole technology piece of things, because I know people who have been kind of dragging their feet with trusting into the tools that social media can provide for us, or they're focused on social media more from a place of like, how is this kind of an invasion of my privacy? Like if I focused there, I wouldn't be connecting with you all right now through this amazing technology. I wouldn't have allowed for even more expansive, flexible vision. So really that's, there's so many stories I could share, but that's one story of how having an expanding, flexible vision, you can hold through line of, for me, it's been connection, being in the field with other women who are like-hearted and aligned in values. And then what's the vision beyond, the extra vision beyond that? Like what is possible for me now as I share this content about Miraculous? And that's actually the name of my program that I'm going to be sharing with you in just a little bit. Is really going to provide the accountability, support, and container of magnificent, pure life force energy to amplify into what's next, the vision beyond the vision, the extra vision beyond, that we can feel safe enough in ourselves and trust enough in ourselves to dream the quote impossible, previously impossible, into being. Do a little time check here. The third key is to cultivate your sovereign creative power. Right now on the planet, this is a theme. The time is now to be your own guru. I don't want to be your guru. I don't want to be anyone's guru but my own self. I am simply here as a guide to reflect back to you your own sovereign creative power. And we really focus on this a lot in the work that I do. I have a membership club. It's a lifetime access called Sovereign Creatrix that I started a few months ago, where this is really the foundational focus for all of us participating in that container. And the way I like to do this with women and those who are dancing with me in my community is through creative practice, through painting, through art making, to return to that place of wonder and delight and crafty kind of tangible ways that we can, from the center point of our heart, because really our arms are an extension of our heart, that we can create intentionally from this place of power and use creative practices to channel our life force and to birth worlds into being. And so this creative piece is a big part of my work. And I've been an artist since a little girl. I've always loved to paint. It was the one thing that I would do when I was from being a little girl, because I was in a lot of different extracurricular activities and all kinds of programs and things. And the art is the one thing that I always loved. And that was the one thing that I've always felt attuned to. So even if you don't consider yourself artistic, I have a really beautiful way of holding space for you to allow yourself to explore that. Just to be open to the possibility that you are a creative being. Look at what you've created in your life, right? And as a woman, we have the power to create through our wombs. Even if you haven't birthed children or don't plan to, you still have a womb. You still have that vortex of energy, the womb of no thing, the Sophia code calls it, where we can literally birth worlds. And that's what we're doing here in my community and with the people that I choose to dance with and choose to dance with me. We are birthing new worlds through the power of our intention and to the power of creativity. And it's so much fun. Okay, sister. So let's actually come back to this, and I'll return to that at the end. The final thing I'll share with you at the end before we close up is the thing about spiritual bypassing that nobody's really talking about, and how to once and for all kind of address spiritual bypassing in a really loving way. So now let's do a purification ritual. And I want to invite you to take your piece of paper, and based on what we talked about earlier in terms of the pitfalls around how you may have been keeping the miraculous from you, deferring it, deflecting it, or censoring yourself from being in a place of receptivity and even open to the miraculous working and being at play in your life. I want you to write down on this one side of the piece of paper what pitfalls you've experienced that have kept you from living an unbounded, fully expressed life up to now. And you can write them out as judgments or beliefs They see a typo there. Judgments or beliefs about these pitfalls that you're ready to now purify, release, transmute, dissolve, and let go of. Okay, so just take a moment to write those down. So my one of my magic wands doubles as a pen, so I'm going to use this. Taking another moment to wrap it up. Trusting that everything you have on the page is perfect. You can always pause this too and take a moment. Just really encourage you to come right back as soon as you're done. So one of the patterns in my life in the past that I have noticed and done quite a bit of mining for the gold and really feeling the stuck emotion around, especially in the last 4 years when I was in a relationship with someone who I call a professional mirror, who was really mirroring back in a very loving yet firm and intense way some of this unresolved trauma that I had in my life. And the way it looked was around expression and communication. So either me censoring myself or censoring others. I remember like when my brother was rapping one time when I was in college, like I think I felt jealous or something that he was like actually had flow. And I somehow like censored him, or I stopped him, or I like interrupted him, or I made fun of him. It was just like a really like, I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. And he was shining, having a moment of shining, and I squashed that down. So I wasn't allowing my full self to shine. And so I didn't feel safe. So I didn't know how to like be with him shining in that moment. So, and I was like the older sister, you know? So I feel like there's more to forgive around that piece for me. And then also when other people were wanting to kind of communicate their perception of me and how I had some shadow stuff coming up, I've in the past deflected or denied or defended myself. Like I couldn't really just listen and be present with it because I didn't feel resourced. I didn't know how to be with like difficult conversations or uncomfortable feelings that wasn't encouraged or nurtured in my childhood. So I wasn't resourced to really receive and listen without judgment. I thought they were making me wrong, or that I was bad, or like there was a judgment around it. Like they were judging me was my perception, and I didn't want to be judged. And really all along, like I just was judging myself, but I didn't really have the tools to be able to listen with neutrality. So this was some of what came up for me as pitfalls to my full self-expression. And so the next piece is to look at a theme, you know, depending on whatever you wrote, what was the theme? Like if you could just name it in one word, probably is going to be like a verb. So the theme for here is censorship of truth. It could be more than, it could be a phrase too. So I'm going to take one of these pens and write it down, censorship of my truth. And then once you have identified that, go ahead and bring that to your heart. And we're going to do a quick guided journey to really clear and transmute and open ourselves back up into the infinite possibilities. So right now, allow yourself, if it feels good and safe for you to do so, to just bring yourself fully present in the here and now into this realm of unconditional love that is always available. It might be helpful to place your hands on your heart with your paper if that's easy for you to do. Take a few deep, nourishing breaths, inhaling, expanding your belly, out, letting your ribs even extend out in the back like a balloon, and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling, allowing nourishing breath through the nose. Exhaling with a sigh, as my doggy sighs right behind me when I did that. Same time. Thank you, Liko. One more time, inhaling through the nose, exhaling, letting that all the air out, push it out. Make a noise if you need to. I'm going to call in beneficial support now to just bless and guide this process with us. Divine Creator, Great Mystery, Father, Mother, God, Miraculous Energy, Great Mystery, please bring all of our support in realms of healed and beneficial energy available to us, present and activated here in this now moment. Centering and anchoring it in, we call forth all of ourselves from the high oversoul, high self, into the basic selves, the habitual parts of ourselves, the ego self, and the selves and all the levels and all the realms and all the dimensions, to sync up now, our little ones within, the inner child, the inner master, the one that is always in a still point of divine neutrality. Sync us up fully, integrating and aligning all of our power into this now moment, into the still point of our hearts. If womb work is also welcome by you, you can also put a hand in your womb, just knowing that this is the sacred center of divine creation. And then also bringing your awareness to your upper part of your third eye, your crown, down to your root, your solar plexus, your throat chakra, and your chakras beyond, above your crown now, just feeling fully activated. We call forth the infinite grace and pure innocence available in any given moment, in this now moment, to bless and center us in this purification process. We ask that all that we've identified and any residual lingering lines or cords of energy to the ways that we've kept ourselves small, censored our full expression, censored our dreams, censored ourselves from living fully supplied, supported, and miraculously held. The places and times where we haven't felt safe, just bless us now as we identify that theme, that through line. For me, it was censorship. The ways I've censored myself, the ways that I've made others and their truth wrong, or didn't feel safe around that truth or that full expression, simply because I didn't feel resourced myself or in my own sense of myself in full expression. We're going to do a forgiveness process now. So I'll guide us through it. So say to yourself, I, fill in your name. So I, Dewi Maile Lim, forgive myself for all the ways I may have censored myself. So go ahead and fill that in. I, fill in your name, forgive myself for blank. Fill it in. I forgive myself for any judgments around blank that I may have placed on myself or others. So I'll demonstrate. I, Dewi Maile Lim, forgive myself for any judgments I may have placed on myself, for censoring myself, for censoring others, for not feeling safe to fully express myself. I forgive myself and I free myself of those judgments. The truth of the matter is I just didn't feel safe. You can fill in the truth of the matter for yourself, feeling just so much compassion for yourself, knowing that you are infinitely blessed and reborn into innocence now. There's no need for you to carry that burden anymore. You can release any density around that. Just allow light to stream in through the still point of your heart. I release and return myself to my full innocence now. Receive. You can say, I, Dewi Maile Lim, or what your name is. Return and retrieve all my energy bound up in this judgment. And I allow all of this energy to return back to the perfect place in my true self. I forgive anyone I may have placed a judgment on as well that may have been involved with any of these actions. I know that we are all one. So that judgment on them was really a judgment on myself, and I just retrieve all of my energy around that. Realizing now that they were simply an angel, a messenger, reflecting to me a way that I wasn't in my own truth and power. I forgive them. I forgive myself. I am whole, perfect, and complete. And so it is. Just bless the remainder of this purification process now, Divine Creator. And I'm going to invite us all to open our eyes and with intention and love, just start to transmute the energy in the physical form by ripping, tearing, crumpling your paper up, putting it into the dish. This is the ceremonial part of the experience. And then what I'm going to invite you to do is have a process later on when we're done here, where you either burn, you flush down the toilet, you bury, somehow you use these torn up pieces of paper to redistribute the energy and send it back into the infinite possibilities and liberate yourself through the physical form. So you see here, I have all my papers. So you can actually do art with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a color here of, let me do it now just to show you. This is totally optional, but I'm going to create the shape of a diamond. And what I'm going to do is collage into my diamond all of these pieces later on and have my remembrance of and liberation of the energy that I had been using to censor myself and others in the past and create a diamond from it. Okay, so you can do whatever Creatrix's choice, how you want to transmute and complete that ritual. Okay, sending the light ahead that is done. And please just commit to yourself to complete that action sometime soon. So I want to share about my my program, Miraculous, with you. If you take a moment with me to do that. And right after this, I'm going to go into the thing about spiritual bypassing that no one's talking about, and then we'll be complete. So Miraculous is a 7-month group coaching business mastermind that combines soul-aligned multidimensional upgrades, an ascension-minded leadership cohort, and an epic painting vision quest designed to amplify your impact as a new earth luminary queen. So if you are a visionary woman who's ready to operate beyond the confines of the 3D matrix of power and dominance and control, then this is most definitely for you. Also, if you felt ready to just catapult yourself into a life and realm of unconditional, boundless freedom and bliss, this program is for you. This is created for the woman who no longer fits in the box that she created for herself and is ready to amplify the full extent of her creative power and to see what's possible beyond the vision of what you even have allowed yourself to consider in the course of 7 months. And with the energetic of this eclipse, and when we're starting this, we're actually launching this on December 4th, which is a full solar eclipse. I believe in Taurus. I might be wrong on where it's falling. One of the qualities and aspects of this solar eclipse is it's going to extend out energetically for a year. So we're going to use and harness the power of what's available to us on the eclipse to really catapult ourselves in and kick off this 7 months with an amazing fanfare and a lot of fun. So December 4th is just about 2 weeks from now. And that's when we're starting. This is also for the woman who's ready to really expand her receptivity muscles and to allow her birthright to receive as the queen and the luminary she is, while also taking action from that masculine, balanced masculine place to really, though, open up to a life of ease and grace and just frankly pleasure, that as you go for whatever it is you're co-creating and wanting to materialize during the 7 months, it could be a business. If you don't have a business yet, it could be your next offering in your business or way that you're positioning yourself. It could be launching a whole new initiative or a movement. Maybe you're starting a not-for-profit organization. Maybe you're wanting to move to a new place or space or call in new relationships and new possibilities for yourself. All that is going to be blessed and enthused and breathed life into through the power of this mastermind energy, which when 2 or more come together with a unified intent and focus, magic happens. And so this is going to be the energetic that we're playing and praying in. It's going to be a sacred container for sister support. And you're going to have me as your guide and cheerleader all throughout the time. And one more thing I wanted to say about who this is for. This is about the woman who knows that she is meant to usher in this new frequency for herself and the planet of the new earth, of the 5-dimensional consciousness. Really, the 5D reality is an evolution in our consciousness. We're all as one, and we as one, of course, we would be supplied grand, the answer to our prayers. Of course, we would be gifted amazing manifestations of our vision because it's already the match. We are an energetic match for receiving that already because we are simply tuned into the full life force energy frequency of Pachamama, of the planet, and of the cosmos, and really syncing ourselves up with it is already done, this idea that it's already done. And also the vision beyond the vision, receiving even more, lining up with source energy to receive delightful and surprising ways of being gifted beyond the vision we even thought possible. Like just like what I mentioned before about that expanding flexible vision, we're going to really be working that muscle in Miraculous. So here's what you get when you join. You get a sacred 7-month group coaching program. We're going to meet twice on Zoom for 90 minutes a month. So that's really where the activations are going to be happening and the coaching is going to be happening. So you bring whatever you're working on into this container and I will provide you coaching and support, and we'll also open it up to the mastermind as well if any of the sisters have feedback for you or suggestions or resources. But really we're going to pool our energy and all of our creative sovereign power into these mastermind transmissions, and we'll do that twice a month, and then you'll have home play after each of those to really put into action the coaching and the strategy that you received. And then you're also going to get a private Facebook group, and this is where we're going to come together, share our stories, share our hearts 24/7. You can just share whatever really is on your in your field, and you can also come to our 24/7 Voxer thread for members. Well, you'll have unlimited ample opportunity and access to my coaching as well. This is a very high level, high value thing to be able to access me. I'll be tuning in Monday through Friday periodically throughout each day. And we get to share what we're working on and what we're committing to and really hold ourselves accountable moment to moment throughout the 7 months together. We're going to receive individualized real-time support, soul project guidance, spiritual and emotional support, and unconditional love from me during these sessions as well throughout. This is just the frequency and the energy I bring, and I will be your #1 cheerleader, as well as the other sisters. We're going to be really holding each other in the highest and encouraging ourselves to even expand beyond whatever vision you have, to say, how can you even amplify that more and allow it to be easily and gracefully and be supplied to you by source. Then I will do once a month ceremonial activations and tune-ups and bring in other high-level guest facilitators that I have hand selected to come in and address whatever energetic shifts we can experience, and really bringing people in who work at that quantum level so that, you know, in the instance we can heal ourselves without having to do a lot of heavy lifting. And if intense emotions and you know, density comes up, I feel fully capable, and the guides that I'm going to be bringing in will be fully capable to help transmute and clear those and really guide you through that. So you will be met in many ways. Then this is the fun part. Well, all of it's going to be fun, but you're going to create your own masterpiece, a large form painting that I will guide you step by step along the way. 1 session a month where we're going to be doing creative vision quests for the soul. And you're going to be able to bring and mine all of what you're going through and sifting through into your painting layer by layer to be able to transmute and really allow the full breadth of your own creative power to blossom forth through a painting that you work on for 7 months. Here are a couple of limited time bonuses. So the first I'll talk about is the pay in full bonus. So right now, if you claim this by Friday the 19th, which is already tomorrow, I'm actually going to extend that through till Sunday, the 21st. Because there was a delay in getting the replay because of my own oversight. So I'm going to actually extend this bonus. If you claim your spot and are able to pay in full for for Miraculous, you will get 2 private half-day VIP days with me. This is highly valuable one-on-one time where I will meet with you in person if you're here on the island or want to come to the island, or I will meet with you on Zoom virtually. It's just as powerful. And we will deep dive into what your vision and focus and what you're birthing throughout this process, and really get to the heart of a strategy for you that will be expandable and flexible with still, because we really want to be open to what source and spirit is wanting for us throughout the process, and continue to expand and allow that to be revealed to us from that expansiveness. So that will be only available till the 21st, which is Sunday, this coming Sunday. Okay, so you want to claim those if you can pay in full, and just reach out to me for more information on what the investment is. And then for those of you who, there is a payment plan available. And to me, it's quite doable for all that you're getting for this program. With the payment plan, you still receive this bonus as well as the pay in full. And that is the Sovereign Creatrix Lifetime Membership. This is my membership club for sovereign creative women who really want to commit to honing and mining the juicy gems that come forward when we look at our own sovereignty, when we make our own sovereignty a priority. So we do monthly creative ceremonies. We have a Creatrix mind. We meet once a month, and then we have a Luminary Masterclass series where I bring in other guest experts, and you have Q&A time with them one-on-one. So if any of this is sounding good and you would like to dance with me, the next step is just to reach out to me and let me know. And if you have any questions, let me know as well. I can share the investment with you there and just really feel into whether it's a fit for both of us. Really though, I trust your own inner knowing, and the investment will pay for itself. I can pretty much guarantee you it will pay for itself during the course of the program and beyond. I definitely stand in that. And so let me know if you'd like to get all the details, and we'll take it from there. And then I'm going to leave you with 2 more things. This is the last piece I want to talk about. So here's the thing about spiritual bypassing. This is like the elephant in the room that a lot of people kind of point to in a lot of spiritual circles. And it's almost as if spiritual bypassing is like a bad thing, you know, like people, I've seen in certain conversations and, you know, communities, especially in the last 2 years, since this whole kind of unraveling of the old way, the age of separation is happening, that in spiritual circles, some people are judging others for what they call spiritual bypassing. So what if someone's saying that it's not all love and light? Like I've seen that as a judgment, like it's not all love and light. You can't just like sugarcoat things, and that could be a part of what's coming up for you as you consider the realm, living in the realm of miraculous. Like, how can it be all sparkle unicorns and like rainbow ponies, you know, like it's not like that, you know. Here's the thing. A Course in Miracles says that it's all love and everything else is just an error. So from that place, we can see the idea of spiritual bypassing as actually a judgment. Who's the arbiter to say that one is spiritual bypassing or not? That's the thing that nobody's really talking about with spiritual bypassing, that it actually is a judgment. No one is the arbiter of who is spiritual bypassing or not. Like that's just old paradigm way of like making someone else wrong. Now here's the thing. If you've been concerned about whether you're quote bypassing or not, and like glazing something over that might actually be a shadow aspect of yourself that's important for you to identify, the surefire way to ensure that you never bypass in that way is just to simply ask yourself, when you're triggered, when you've identified a blind spot, when someone else has pointed out a blind spot to you, when you feel like maybe for a moment you're on victim island, ask yourself, get into like a quiet space and ask yourself, how is this happening for me? How is this person reflecting this for me now happening for me? How is this feeling of anger, sadness, or fear for me? How is what this person is reflecting to me in my relationship, my intimate relationship, happening for me? How is this thing that my child just shoved in my face happening for me? This is the way to ensure that you will never, quote, spiritually bypass. If you are doing the inner work to feel your feelings back down into that place of love, to be with yourself in love, then you are doing the deep and profound work that's needed to allow yourself to be liberated and free and live as the truly miraculous being that is your birthright. So I wanted to end with that. And actually, I got one more thing for you all, just to dance us out, have a little dance party. Let's move some energy. And I'm going to share one of my favorite songs with you, and then I'll just end afterwards. So if you want to dance, you can, or you can sign off. This is a kick-ass song. I love it so much. It's from my favorite movie, Lego Movie 2. Enjoy. Talk to you later.
credits. Who edits the credits? I said I'll never forget it. But you read it already. The show gets a kid about 90 minutes late. It's a whole dang movie because the credits are great. Now if you're gonna be featured on a movie song, the credits is the part that you wanna be on. Super cool, outrageous, amazing, phenomenal, fantastic, incredible. Everything is super cool right now. Everything is awesome right now. Everything is super cool right now. Everything is awesome right now. Everything is super cool right now. Everything is awesome here right now. Everything is super cool right now. Everything is awesome here right now.
Thank you, sister. If you stayed on this long, I love you. I appreciate you. Have an amazing rest of your day. Contact me directly, respond to any of the emails I've sent out if Miraculous is something you'd like to learn more about. Mwah! Have a beautiful rest of your evening or day.